Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So if you're like me and have one of these awesome Ryobi garage door openers, you know that as they age and things break, we're kind of screwed, because when they got sued years ago and shut down production, they also removed all parts from the market. So when you need something, you either have to buy something used and roll the dice or adapt something else. We're at the time period now where belts are starting to age out and strip. And this happens with all brands, nothing unique to this, but you can see a whole bunch of missing rubber teeth in there. The belt itself is steel lined and then has the little rubber teeth impregnated onto it. Now I'm using another brand belt that we're going to install on it. I'll put the part number down in the description. First step though to changing it, it's not that big of a deal. We're gonna unplug it. We're going to detach the belt assembly, just a few bolts here on top and a couple down there, and then just remove the whole track down to the ground. So up top, we've just got these 4 nuts to take off. Pull the cotter pin and disconnect the J-bar from the trolley. And then just pull the cotter pin, the hinge pin, and remove the whole bar down to the ground. Now I don't know if the stretch of this worn out belt is gonna be comparable to a brand new one, but I'm just gonna mark where the ends of this tensioner are here down at the end before I unscrew it. And all we have to do is loosen this end nut right here, and that'll take tension off the belt so we can slide this out the end. This end nut was a 13 and they were 10 up top, by the way. Just give this a tap and it will come out. It's just 2 tabs friction fit right there. Just like that. Same type of friction fit up here at the gear drive. We're just gonna more gently tap it right here, and this whole plastic puck will slide out, and then we can slide out the remains of the belt and the pulley down at the end, along with the coupler. And that comes out no problem, and you can see the bits and more missing belt parts all down there. All right, now I'm just gonna slide everything out and get it cleaned out of any parts. And now we can remove all the screws, pop that cover, and get the belt completely out. And here's the inside of the carrier and how it fits. Make sure you clean out all the belt parts from the gear as well. On the coupler assembly, the ends of the belt are just laid in here. That's kind of what makes the Ryobi different from all the others that we will have to modify, because the other brands use a solid chain link joiner instead of this plastic piece. So we will be cutting the ends off the new belt to fit in this carrier. And once you have it out of the carrier, you can just pull it out of the tensioner assembly, and then we'll have the belt ready to match length to the new one. So what I'm gonna do is just actually match the lengths of the new belt to this existing one, but just for reference, this one measures out to 235 inches. Now on the new belt, both ends are hard, because like I said, it connects via a metal chain link. We're gonna be cutting both of those ends off and then trimming the belt to match the length. Now it is the same steel wire core, so you're probably not gonna be able to snip or cut it. If you've got a cutoff wheel or a Dremel, that's the way to go. So all I did is start at one end and put them together like this, so I can precisely match the end. I'm just gonna mark that and cut that one off, and then we'll have our new belt ready. And now we reassemble, starting by threading back through the end, putting it back in the track, reassembling the coupler, going around the gear. Wrap the belt around the gear, and then you can just plop it down into the housing and screw the top back on, and then just slide it back into the rail. Give it a tap if you need to. Now because the new belt is just slightly taller when it's in the track than the old one, we have to make up for that difference with some washers here, or whatever you want to use to shim, because if we close this on the new belt, it actually captures it and it doesn't travel. So I'm going to put one shim, one washer in between the 2 screws right here, and then just shove a couple into the corners here to the outside here, just to get those spaced. I got all the screws tightened down. It looks a little funky, but it works. Just make sure that your belt still moves. First, slide your carriage bolt in the end of the tensioner here. Just goes in this little slot, because you won't be able to get it in once this travels down. Before you tap your end in, make sure you slide your coupling back on the track. Now, as I suspected, this new belt has a different tension than the old one. You can see I've got it properly tensioned here, and it's just slightly off from the past marks, but it's good to go. All right, let's get this back up on the assembly. And we're back together and plugged in. Now we just need to reset our limits. I'll put a link down to another real quick video about that if you need that procedure. And that's how you change your belt. Cost about $33 or so. Make sure you check the box for any coupon. Took me about an hour and a half doing this, taking breaks because it is so freaking hot here in Florida. That's it. See ya.